What's up, guys? This is Heis, and we interrupt the normal career playthrough for an amazing update from Alt Future. They've added multiplayer to DERAIL Valley. It's absolutely amazing. I can't believe that they did it. They built the game for VR, they decided to add in multiplayer late, and oh my goodness, I guess that's why maybe Simulator took so much time to come out. It's because they were spending time secretly programming multiplayer in the background. Who knows? Anyways, it's really fun, and it features a new unique locomotive that is actually really cool to take a look at. So let's go take a quick look at it and see what the multiplayer gameplay is like. I have to say, I am surprised to see that they decided to change the gauge of the railway in DERAIL Valley. And they made the spaghetti even worse. I know they've been promising for quite some time that the alignments would get better and a little bit faster, but this looks like a decrement. But they made it multiplayer, so you know, I'll take what I can get. You know, multiplayer is more fun. I do have to say that their choice of player model. Slightly stereotypical for the Balkan region.
You are a loose cannon sandwich, but you are a damn good cop.
Which is a little problematic. It's fine. So this is the new locomotive they've given us. It's an 040, and I gotta say the styling is quite fun, but the accuracy is quite poor. In fact, the accuracy is some of the worst I've ever seen from a train simulator ever. And I'm pretty disappointed in Alt Future on this one. Especially when I throw my sandwich at it. I'm quite disappointed with Alt Future on this one because they have such a commitment to accuracy, and you know, this seems like a commitment to not that. They've made a locomotive that's got clearly a face on it. The fire's in the wrong end, and there's no way to get draft down here. And then the fire door is shut, and it says hot, H-O-T. I don't know what that stands for, but like the coal goes in the hole, not in the maw. The train shouldn't have a maw, but here we are, and it does. And the teeth aren't even straight. You know, and I hate to be a rivet counter, but there's 2 rivets holding that tooth on, 4 holding the middle one on, and 2 holding that one on. And so I'm going to have to dock some serious points. They really screwed up there. It's named Little Choo Choo, which they spelled Choo Choo wrong, but I guess that goes with the maw, which does kind of vaguely look like some kind of dystopian cast pilot that's been bled on, which is fine. But it's an 040, and that's not how steam engines work. There's a little guy. There's a rod down there, and yeah, he moves, he animate, he do some stuff, and all the things he do. I don't know who's saying that. All the things he do are not very good. Not very accurate. And the locomotive, I mean, they made the game narrow gauge. They literally narrow gauged DERAIL Valley and then put inverse flanges. Do you see that? On this, and then did not make them to gauge. And you only get to pull this one car. It's a logistical haul with a screaming Balkan. I don't know. I'm not sure about these changes. I need to see how they are with other people. I mean, the cab, it looks like something like a Disneyland electronic. It doesn't look like it is a steam locomotive. They did such a good job with sim. Bomb cart? I don't know what he's on about. They did such a good job with simming everything previously. And then they just kind of, the new update, they just kind of faltered, and that's a little depressing. You know, I thought we were getting to have one of the best train sim games ever with DERAIL Valley, and now they've done whatever the hell this is. Well, his maw is stuck through the floor of the track. That ain't realistic. Do you even model collisions on these things? I don't think you do. Anyways, I think we need to try this out with some friends in multiplayer, and we'll figure it out from there. But I can't excuse that. Is that really how far off the tracks this thing goes? What in the hell?
Stay near tiny car.
What in the hell? It's not tiny. It's medium-sized. It's an overall. It's fine there, but... I don't know about you. You look like you could use something for your maw. But before we do go on further, I do have to say that Lil Choo Choo was never painted with this Prussian blue. It's the wrong blue, it's the wrong flange, it's the wrong wheel. They were only ever painted in the BR standard blue. And I am ashamed that the devs of this game could not figure it out. Especially the fact they got the class lamps wrong. Class lamps do not have that amount of throw. They just kind of glow a little bit, and you can clearly see how brightly shining that class lamp is on those garish metal teeth. Wait, what even locomotive is this supposed to be? I don't think they know. I don't think they've got it figured out. I think they're totally wrong. Let me know in the comments if you think I'm right, because I'm pretty sure that they've made a shameful thing, a shameful approximation of a steam locomotive here. And, you know, they've done this Porter class as B04XY. They've done it wrong. They haven't done it justice, and that's wrong. Alright, so we're here at the Hostlers for the day, trying to get fired up. The engine, I don't see where they've got the coal supply in this little depot.
No. Okay, so here's a fun tidbit about this engine. Now, when this was built in 1917 for the Chicago, Milwaukee, St. Paul, and Pacific, they were actually experimenting with nuclear fusion at the time under the direction of scientist Dr. Emmett L. Brown.
Is this a...
Now, he got pretty far with his experiments.
This is a nuclear steam engine?
Yeah, no. This sucker's electrical, but you need the plutonium to generate the 1.21 gigawatts of electricity to get this thing underway.
Oh,
so there's
okay.
the flux capacitor.
Okay. I see the oscilloscope on the back end, which is very necessary for reading the static waves that are there. Anyways, we got it fired up, so it's time to go.
Yeah,
so Jersey, you said that it was from the Chicago Saint what?
I said to Chicago and Alton. Now, when this thing was built in 1952 for the Baltimore and Ohio, this engine was really one of a kind, and there was nothing else like it in the world.
The Baltimore and Ohio really was a treasure of a railroad, because they always made things that, you know, they kind of sang to their own tune from the beginning to the end. Their end being, you know, post 1952.
You think of the famous
London B&O was their ownership at one point.
Now, when this thing was built in 1927, they really thought this thing was going to be the future of locomotive transportation.
You could tell that by all the vacuum tubes that it has. You could see how advanced of a steam locomotive it is. It's actually got a Marshall EL84 based tube circuit on there. It's got a Super Lead 1959 model built into it, like it was Eddie Van Halen's guitar.
As a matter of fact,
amp details.
Going back to 1984 on the world tour of Van Halen, when this thing was just freshly out of the shops, built in May of that year, they actually substituted it for the leg of their tour between St. Louis and San Francisco, traveling over the Monon Railroad, as a matter of fact. Now, when this engine was built in 1956 for the Rock Island, this was, you know,
it was state of the art. It was state of the art
Yeah,
then.
yeah.
It has the choo-choo feed water system built in. It says it on the side.
Yeah, that was actually a competitor to Alesco and Coffin at the time. Worthington was still a little more efficient than it, so it never really caught on. But it was really revolutionary.
The vacuum tube-based water feed heater systems, not ideal. If we're gonna be real, you know, as much as I like vacuum tubes. You know, they're not the best delivery mechanism for heat or water.
Now, to give them credit, when this thing was built in the back shops of the Texan Pacific in 1858, America was about to be plunged into the Civil War, so they really needed something that could haul all those big military trains and do it really fast. They were gearing up way back
Jersey, 1850. Why'd they make an O for O? Did they know? Did they just not know any better?
Oh, no, it's actually very tactical, because when they built this thing in 1917 for use in the trenches of World War I, they really needed this thing to be maneuverable over the tightest and most lightweight track. So they opted for the 040 design so it could be the most maneuverable in the smallest package.
That does make sense. The small package makes it a big important deal. You know, it's fine. It's fine. It's fine.
Yeah, the Santa Fe guys are really angry.
Somebody has shown up and they look less Russian than me, and they're using rocket launchers now, and that's scary.
Oh, that's corporate.
Oh, is that corporate? Well, that tracks for corporate. Not only are you only allowed to use 3 sick points per day, depending on which day of the week, and 5 sick points on weekend days. If you try to use too many sick days in a month, they will now fire a rocket launcher at you.
Yes, that was actually
Welcome to railroading on the ES&D. They're now threatening the use of flamethrowers. The railroads have thrown out the Geneva Convention. What else is new?
They actually lobbied for that starting in 1875.
How about we speak more about this route that we're currently on?
What the hell? This isn't even the Uinta Railway. What alignment are we operating on right now?
You would be looking at the Morenci Southern Railroad of Clifton and Morenci, Arizona, as pictured in probably 1920s era.
It does look hot and infested with Russians with miniguns.
Yeah, that was a known issue along the line. In fact, the Morenci Southern Railroad was losing so much profit to said Russians that they had hired French privateers to sneak up on said Russians and stab them in the back.
Wow, that's
literally.
surprising. Do you think the French could sneak up on the Russians?
They actually did quite a lot.
Where's MOW? There's a lot of wildlife along this alignment that needs dealt with. We're running a boring ass logistical haul to the end of track, and it's just, why is it such a chore?
You just do have to remember that is a protected species in Yugoslavia, I believe, so be very careful with that. You could get a very hefty environmental fine.
All right, I'm gonna requisition my Scottish friends for this. You know, sometimes when they
actually brought in Scots to work on the railroad because it was cheaper.
Well, you know,
much like how we brought in Irish.
Details. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It would be the darndest thing if the track workers went kablooey on the day payday was gonna come. Sorry, AC9. My Scottish friends are known to be somewhat of a marksman.
Nobody has answered the most important question, though.
Yeah, what is that?
What whistle is it wearing?
Oh, this is actually a very interesting question.
It's a fantastic question with this specific locomotive. The Morenci and Southern Railway, they've never fitted whistles on their steam locomotives. Not even their 040. Their 040 that you're running right now on the alignment. It's equipped with a. I want to say it's actually a. I want to say.
They did. That
it is. It's some kind of five note horn. I mean, it might be a Nathan 5 chime horn.
This thing is indeed a Nathan 5.
Now, the fun thing here is when this was built in 1878 by
Nathan wasn't even made. I don't even know where they got the patent from the horn from.
It was fitted later on in life.
Yeah, when this was built in 1831 by Robert Stevenson and Company, and imported to the United States for use on the Camden
Stevenson
Mail
himself made this, which is why you can see the internal main rod that is as cursed as everything the British have ever made.
Predates the rocket.
It does. And, this would have won at the trials of the place where the rocket won that have a name that I don't remember.
They were talking about entering it in the Rainhill trials, but it was deemed unsafe for highway use, so they kept it home.
Yeah, the gaping maw at the front with the poorly riveted on teeth. They were worried that the teeth would fall off when a pedestrian was eaten by them. It was the darndest thing. I've never heard that comment related to a locomotive before, let alone from a manufacturer in the 1830s.
It actually received a lower rating of highway safety than even the world infamous Canyonero.
That salad was in fact slandered.
From Hackworth.
It's not even Hackworth. It doesn't have valve gear. They found a way. This locomotive was built from scratch in 2305 by Captain Kirk in the hull of the Enterprise. It has no valve gear. It was made by Captain Kirk in the Enterprise using alien technology. There is no valve gear. It just works. The valve doesn't exist. You just get steam when you need steam. He had to do it in a cycle of time loop madness in such a way that we could all appreciate it because he saw it in a late era when he was alive. Because this thing existed now, right now, using the atom as its energy, which is why its face is so scary.
Yeah, you see, when this thing was built in 2005 by the Gibson Custom Shop, they really thought of everything.
They gave it the laminated quintuple A mahogany cab sides. It is the cab sides on this locomotive are so beautiful. They make my Les Paul look like it's worth $7 and not $7,000.
Yeah,
I mean, you can really see the pixels in these cab sides.
Now, what's really cool is if you look at the snifters, those are real genuine Grover snifters.
They're Grover snifters, and it's a Fender Custom Shop guitar from 2007.
By Grover Cleveland himself, actually.
Grover Cleveland himself whittled these snifters out of a solid hunk of brass and added them to the locomotive.
Second term. First term.
Is that the blue guy on Sesame Street?
Second term. The first term, he was useful. The second term, he had to prove his usefulness, and so he whittled snifters out. That's what he did. Darndest thing.
Gotcha, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Now, as a matter of fact,
whittling.
when President Abraham Lincoln commissioned this for use in the Civil War in 1862, he was really not thinking all that much about how this engine would be useful going forward after the war, which is why it's in such heavy armor plating. Now, that is actually galvanized steel. They had that in 1862. It was really ahead of its time. I mean, when they sent this thing to battle, when that thing charged...
The big question mark is why the main rod is made out of cast iron and it is on a pre-framulated amulite bearing, which I don't know how Lincoln got access to in 1862 when the locomotive was already 10 years old. The locomotive was built in 1852 by the Norris shops, originally as a 420, but they decided that lead trucks were dumb, and they decided to make it an 040 instead.
Yeah, you see, when Skunk Works made this in 1962,
they thought it was going to go to the moon. They thought it was going to... They heard Kennedy. Kennedy said, we're going to go to the moon with a steam train in the stockade, not because it's easy, but because it's hard. And, you know, what a novel new idea that they were going to do.
When Mr. Kennedy's head just did that, they had to really take a step back. And so when this thing rolled out of the shops in 1971 as a part of the space shuttle program, they really wanted it to be reusable for many different tasks, which is why in the second year you'll see
it's not savable by the French, is what we just learned.
I think we just witnessed an example of...
Oh, well, hang on. No, our friend Drew just saw why it was not successful on the space shuttle program. It has a core made of true lead, and it fell into the pit, and it exploded.
Yeah.
So maybe we shouldn't use the steam train on the steam shuttle. I mean space shuttle.
Yeah, derail valley. It did derail into a valley.
It derailed into the valley. They added multiplayer. Oh my god, this is the best update to a video game I've ever seen in my entire life. Make sure you check it out. Anyways, guys, thanks so much for watching. We will catch you all next time. Perhaps later in April.